Hello there. The woke lefty flag meltdown is a joy to behold as the revolution begins, and their wailing becomes more hysterical the more flags we raise and the higher we raise them, because they well know the importance of those national symbols, and that is exactly why they try to insult and belittle those that support those flags. But they are now losing. Their name-calling of fascist, Nazi and bigot are falling on deaf ears. We see them for what they are, haters of this country. And the woke left now sees what is happening around them. Patriotism on the rise, Christianity on the rise. And it terrifies them, because after decades of doing all they can to destroy the UK, and especially England, by denigrating our flag, our heritage, and especially the people, their efforts are now falling apart at the seams. The nationalist genie is out of the woke bottle, never to return. Their own stupid actions have awoken the lion. We now see the division they cause. We now see the increased crime, the decreased trust, the creation of a two-tier system, not just of the law, but of the whole social structure, from education to police to courts to employment to violence against the young to grooming gangs to shoplifting, etc., etc., etc. The Brits are slow to rise up when ill-treated, but it has now gone far enough. All over social media, lefties are trying to shut this Raise the Colours movement down, calling it racist and full of hate. But they are losing. They don't like this. They don't like that because it's flags, it's nationalist, it's British, it's English. They don't like that. And they also don't like this. They don't like that either, because it's nationalist and it's English. So they won't like that. While those same people support those flying the Palestinian flag with abandon and marching under the Israel-hating motto of from the river to the sea, so they would support the following. Yes, they love that, don't they? All those Palestinian flags and the hate that emanates from them. So they would love that, absolutely love that. But I say this, flying the English and UK flag is not about hate. It is about a love for and support of the very nation that so many people claim they have come to for safety and a better life. So many of them claim that, but they do not act like it. And the same people wailing over St George pedestrian crossings and mini roundabouts were probably the same ones who applauded pride crossings. But do you remember this from May last year, though? Remember the two police horses approaching the pride crossing? Do you remember that? Now, those horses have got a bit of sense, haven't they? Shying away.
That's quite interesting,
in the end,
that is.
Yeah, the officers managed to get them, but they did not like that one bit, did they?
It's almost like there's something spiritual going on there. That's almost spiritual.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. That is, I don't know what that was. Those horses were indeed spooked by something, that potentially what the representation of it is. But anyway, Jeff, let's just jump straight in here. These flags that are being flown around the country, the English flags and the Welsh flags and Scottish, etc., Northern Ireland, I can tell you now, this is not a warning shot. This is the first shot of a revolution that is taking place. Revolutions don't usually start by just instantly masses of people going out onto the street and committing acts of mindless violence. No. It doesn't even have to get to that. This is a different kind of revolution. This is a quiet... It's so strange. It's like the inertia behind what's happening, Jeff. It's slow. It's like if you were to try and jumpstart one of those old steamrollers, you know? Once you get it going, it ain't stopping. And if it's heading downhill, look out. And that's the situation we are in now. because the flags are being flown right across this country. People are so, I mean, when you see it, it's like, yes, yes, at last. And that feeling, that's a feeling that's spreading across the country. Please keep, I was saying this weeks ago, Jeff, for people to get their flags out. Please get the flags out. If you haven't yet, do it. Get your flags out. Because this country is now entering a revolution. People aren't listening to the mainstream media. Terminology like the far right being thrown at us, it means nothing to us. And calling us racist, it means nothing to us. We're not racist, we're not far right. It just makes you sound stupid to all the people who throw those sort of terms around. It makes you sound utterly stupid. So please, but I have to go back to what you said in yesterday's video. I mean, a man being petrol bombed, just for wanting to raise the English flag, that shows how frightened the other side are. It doesn't say, and it also shows how far they will go and how violent and nasty and insidious they are. That's what we have to think of. Jeff.
Yes, we can see the woke left exactly for what they are. Haters of every ordinary Brit in the land and haters of the United Kingdom and all its constituent parts. They hate us with a passion and they want to destroy us all. But they're about to find out that the job of the government is to look after Brits, not the rest of the world. And it's up to us to stop the socialists balkanising the UK and especially England for their own ends, because that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try and split everything apart, divide everything, and they put this mass migration thing is part of that division. Because when you bring in people in such huge numbers, they cannot assimilate, will not assimilate. There is no way they can assimilate. They can't sort of just become part of the country. It's never going to happen in the numbers they're coming in at. And those numbers aren't going to stop. They are going to continue and keep coming. Because government after government after government has been intent on ensuring it does happen. And they've set up the courts and the laws to ensure it continues. I don't care what Labour says they're going to do about fast tracking. The only thing they're going to do is fast track people through the system and into the country to stay. That's all they're going to fast track. That's it. They're not going to fast track anyone leaving because the courts at the end of the day won't let them. They just won't let them. So, yeah. And that's why we're seeing polls like this. Now, whether you like Nigel Farage and Reform UK or it doesn't matter. This is what's happening in the real world. Westminster voting intentions from Find Out Now. It's about 5 days old, I think, but it's a sort of poll of polls thing and it's a bit technical. But Reform UK at 33% and Labour and the Tories are at 18 and 17 each. Now, that makes it very difficult for any opposition to Reform UK. If those numbers are borne out in a general election, it's going to be huge win for Reform UK. And we just have to hope they're up to the job if they do get in, if there was a general election called soon. And I still think we won't last 4 years for the next general election. It's going to have to happen earlier. Everything is falling apart around Keir Starmer.
Yes.
Rachel Reeves is about to put us in the worst financial position we've probably ever been in, apart from when the last IMF bailout in the 70s. We're back there. We're going back there, ladies and gentlemen. All aided and abetted by that idiot Ed Miliband with his nut zero plans of destroying our manufacturing base and then hoping that a few windmills and solar panels are going to replace all those jobs. I'm sorry, it ain't going to happen. So, yeah, there you go.
Oh, I mean, under Farage, you can, I mean, again, I don't hold much hope, but but there is a little bit of hope that we'll have some incremental improvement under Farage as Prime Minister, and that is a positive thing. Whether we're going to find out, isn't it, tomorrow, Jeff? There's going to be a big announcement, isn't there, by Nigel Farage with regards to deportations, potentially mass deportations. Maybe he's had a change of mind. Maybe he's told had a little word with his party chairman, and a different conversation has emerged. Possibly, I don't know. I'm not holding out too much hope, but we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. I think tomorrow's going to be very telling, Jeff. To be honest with you, it'll tell us exactly how serious reform really are. But do you trust them to deliver? That's the question. We'll see. We'll see. At the end of the day,
well,
I'm still supporting Advance. There's no two ways about it. But come early general election, the Advance aren't going to be ready. I think Advance UK know that as well, though. But yeah.
Yeah, the main problem I have about all of this is that we're now aiming as a country for anything except the usual uniparty establishment choices. And whether you like Farage or not, he's due to give this big speech tomorrow on immigration and deportation. And what I've heard he's going to talk about is 5 flights a day leaving with people on board. Easy to say, you'll need massive security because the lefties will gang. I'm absolutely convinced that the Home Office is full of lefties. They'll know the plane number, the pilot's name, which airport it's leaving from, and they'll have people rushing through, breaking through the gates and onto the airports and stopping the jets. That's what I see coming, and if we've got to be ready for that. They're not the lefties in this country are not going to let this go without a fight. They really aren't. They're going to use every trick in the book.
Well, I tell you what, Farage better be ready to have a plan for that. That's the thing. I mean, He has to be anticipating that. He has to, mostly, as you rightly pointed out, Jeff, he has to be, he needs to be ready for the civil service. He needs to have that in place. If he comes into power, he has to be ready to deal with that. However that may take, whatever extraordinary measures that would mean. And,
to be honest, what will happen is that the lefties they now know that they're toast. What they want to do is put as many blockades in the way, as much rearguard action, as much scorched earth as possible between Reform UK or whoever it is that takes over and rebuilding this country. They will destroy it economically. They will destroy its manufacturing, its energy base, its agriculture. Well, it all sounds like they're doing this already, doesn't it? They're destroying the country so that it can't be rebuilt. It's going to be up to us, the ordinary patriots, the ordinary people, to buckle down once these people have finished destroying our country, and it's going to be up to us to start this whole thing again.
Yeah, it'll be a scorched earth policy, I think.
It is, and it's going to be very difficult. We need to stop them before they get there. We really do.
Well, you're right. It'll be a rearguard action. I mean, we've all heard that, Keir Starmer's very good at rearguard action. And, sorry. I'm talking politically here, of course, that's, yes. And, so I can imagine he will have things in place now to ensure that it'll be worse than when who was it, walked into, oh, good grief, the former Chancellor, wasn't it? He walked into his position and there was a note saying that we've run out of money from the previous, from Gordon Brown's lot. Anyway, I think that's what we're going to find out, is that there's going to be no money left whatsoever. But then again, that's not going to come as much of a surprise, to be honest with you. I think we know that there's no money left whatsoever. What Rachel Reeves has done to this country, I mean, they're literally going to come for your home now. If your home's over £500,000 in value, they're coming for it. That's a given. But that'll slowly drop down to 400,000, 300,000, 200,000, and we all know where the money's going. It's going to pay for the new arrivals, which are costing us so much money. It's unbelievable, and that's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Just get ready to hand over your wealth. This is the great wealth, not so much extraction, redistribution.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I like this one from Captain Generica. Calling Starmer Sir is like calling Meghan Markle Your Highness.
Well, actually, no, I disagree. I think calling Starmer Sir is very apt when you see the pedigree of those people who make it to Sir. I mean, Sir Sadiq Khan, Sir Jimmy Savile, Sir Cyril Smith. The list goes on, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Richard, I'm not sure that Keir Starmer is very good at the rear guard part. Anyway.
Oh yeah, guarding the rear. Well, maybe. Well, yes, I think you got me thinking there, Jeff. You take me
he's
down
not
a
very good at the
totally
guard
different.
bit. No. Anyway,
Sorry.
Tracy
yeah.
M says the government's buying huge quantities of body bags, allegedly. Yes, they are. They're buying massive tents to take up to 700 deceased people for some reason, and all this sort of thing. Now it's been put down as contingency measures. I mean, all the time the governments do have contingency planning, that they do sort of keep things in reserve, and they buy all these things. And at once, it's quite funny though, they did do a contingency bit of planning a few years ago, a couple of decades ago. They bought loads and loads and loads of railway sleepers, loads and loads. Everyone, why are they buying all these old railway sleepers? Absolutely tons of these things. The next year we had foot and mouth, and we had to burn loads of cattle. So they were well prepared for that. So they know when to prepare for things, don't they?
I wonder what they're expecting, Jeff. I mean, what's this contingency for? I mean, it's very strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost as if something might happen on our soil that would require lots of bodies.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing.
Bodies to be.
What do they know? What do they think's going to happen? I mean, when you think about it, if Russia or China, or Iran wanted to try something on, what sort of things would they use? Poisons, dirty bomb, that sort of thing. So we, contingency planning takes all those sorts of things into account. So yeah.
I don't think it's that, Jeff. I don't think it's that. I mean, I think if China or whoever were to try that, that's a bucket of sunshine heading their way. That's it. There wouldn't be any messing around. If you're putting dirty bombs on British soil, it's not going to be a good outcome for them.
Oh no,
I think they'd know that. I don't. Go on.
They
wouldn't. Oh, go, Jeff. Go.
Labour wouldn't be allowed to do that, because if you send a bomb out, if you send a bomb to a foreign country, you'll instantly be killing children and genociding them all, and so they'll never do that, would they?
I mean, at worst, they'd probably get Jeremy Corbyn to write them an effing letter.
Yes. And all this, while this is going on, we get a report out of, I think it's the Telegraph, with migrant hotels being asked to house foreign criminals, including arsonists. Not the ones that Keir Starmer is alleged. No, arsonists, people who set fire to things, and they're going to put those in these hotels. So what they've told these hotels to do is to boost their insurance premiums for accommodation and staff, put staff on risk awareness programs, and buy better fire-resistant furniture. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, can you? I mean, if someone was to come up with a sitcom, actually, that would be a great one, wouldn't it? A sitcom of an asylum hotel. You could make, that would go down a storm.
You could only make that. You could only make that brilliant idea, Jeff. But you could only have made it in the 70s or 80s.
Yes,
or 90s, possibly. Yes. Early 90s.
Yeah, you've got the makers. Got the makers of Yes Minister or 40 Towers. Oh, 40 Towers.
Oh, that would be
that would be a good one, wouldn't it? Oh, it wouldn't it? Yeah. You could have the Serco boss, couldn't you, in charge and being run rings around by people rushing out the door with food deliveries and stuff. Oh, it'd be absolutely superb, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'd have to.
Yeah, but this conversation though, Jeff, this makes everyone remember though how far we have fallen. That we can't. You can't make a television series like that. And this is why the revolution's taking place. There's a psychological revolution taking place, and it is now manifesting. People who were previously never politically active, like many ladies, the pink ladies, coming out and standing up for their children and for their communities. This just goes to show that people who are previously not interested in politics are now going to go and protest and be vocal about it, regardless of the consequences, Jeff. That's the other side of it. The fear is gone. I think the fear is totally gone now. If Starmer was to try and do another crackdown, I think things would not take a turn for the best, to be honest with you. I think if he was to really crack down now, like he did after Southport, I think it would have a very... I know what will happen. I think we all do.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's getting serious. But the BBC, of course, are out doing their finest. and they've been into and talked to someone in a hotel, and they report the following. Asylum seekers living in hotels in the southeast say they are in a state of constant anxiety amid nationwide demonstrations. The protests really scare me, John said, not his real name, who has been living in a Surrey hotel for 3 years since fleeing persecution in Tanzania.
Hang on. Why does he have to change his name? Why is he not calling himself his real name? Why? What's wrong with his real name? That's strange. Sorry, just that stood out. Now, I'm not saying we want people in these migrant hotels to be frightened and concerned about the fact that they've probably entered the country illegally, and that, most, probably. I'm not saying definitely that John, our John, good old John, that John has entered the country illegally. But those who have entered the country illegally, allegedly, yes. But those who have entered the country illegally, there seems to be a sort of recurring pattern of behaviour that most of the British people don't actually like. And therefore, people are protesting. So, dear John, remember that series, Jeff, again from the 80s, 90s, Dear John? Anyway, yep. By the time you read this note, I'll be gone. See? Nostalgia. Anyway, the thing is that the people of this country they just want their country back. And sorry, John, very sorry. It's all the other bad people who spoilt it for you, who came from other places, who also entered the country illegally. To do something illegal, funny enough, in this country used to be a crime, Jeff. Do you remember that? When, if you did something illegal, it was a criminal act.
Vaguely,
but now it's not quite. Yeah, it's not quite the same now. You can just go into a shop and take what you like, and the police don't really do much about it. It's this shoplifting thing that's going on. I'm not saying it's legal and you should do it, but it appears not to be treated the same as it used to be. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. But there are some crimes that are worse than others. Shoplifting is not a crime anymore. Putting up flags is a crime, but only if they're British, English type flags. So we've got to remember that. That's now the crime, according to the woke left. And they're going to be tearing them down in all those councils that they can. In fact, they're going to be spending money on it, lots of money, which they could be spending on doing ordinary things like mending potholes and all the rest of it, as I've said before. Someone else says, but what's with all these marquees being ordered? Yeah, that's exactly what is happening. That's what the 700 body marquees or something, ready for something, as we were talking about earlier. Yeah. So what's the government planning? No, they're just planning like they normally do, the destruction of the UK in any form or bother they can do. They'll just go on... legal and illegal migration will continue at as high a rate as they can get away with. Remember that. It's all about what they can get away with. It's not about, forcing numbers. It's about get it right up to the limit, push the envelope all the time. At one stage, we used to have tens of thousands of net migration. It's now in the hundreds of thousands. There is a plan afoot, and it's just destruction of us and our way of life. And we should be resisting it. So, yeah, not very good, is it, really? Wasn't St. George a Middle Easterner anyway? Yes, he was. I'm not sure which country he did come from. There's lots of differing stories. But that just shows you how open and non-xenophobic and non-bigoted patriots in this country are, especially England, because we take and honour foreign saint as our patron saint. So how on earth can we be regarded as xenophobic, really?
Good point there, Jeff. Yeah.
Are you going to talk yourselves through this, says James 11588. Well, I'd rather talk my way through it than anything else if we don't have to do anything else. The more we talk now, maybe we can head this off at the pass a bit. Yeah, someone does say they're expecting a civil war. It's almost like they are, isn't it? It's almost like they're expecting things to kick off And maybe they're hoping or believing that they can do a short, sharp action and stop the whole thing, nip it in the bud, take out the ringleaders or whatever, that sort of thing. I don't think it'd work, though, personally. If they went down that route, it would be stupid.
Oh, yes, trying to take people out who are... I mean, it depends on the person and what's being advocated, really. If you had some... We do know there is a far right, incidentally, not the far right that we're told is the far right, but a real nasty far right. If they start advocating stuff, I think you'd find probably people like myself and Jeff and Tommy and many of the others trying to head people away from such persons, because there are far right groups emerging. And of course they're going to gain strength. Everything else has left them down. You know, this is what's going to happen. But it's up to people like Mr. Taylor, our wonderful Jeff Taylor, and Mr. Tommy Robinson, and many others, to actually head that off and to ensure that we do find a middle path out of it. And I don't mean the middle of the road. No, I'm not talking centrist, political centrist ground. I'm just trying to find a way of us uniting as a kingdom, all of us. We just want to unite, bring the kingdom together, and then we'll sort this out as Brits. Never mind the absolute ball from that you get from the mainstream media and from the establishment. That's gone. That's over. We're not listening. You can go and do one as far as we're concerned. We don't care. But what we're talking about is a revolution of the British people, and a good and positive and healthy one. We're not talking about a revolution that necessarily has to go down the worst path, but maybe that's something that's going to happen anyway, unfortunately. It's looking pretty ugly right now, because if the establishment continues to not listen, and if you think that, I mean, I don't think, as we said before, Jeff, we think that there's probably going to be a general election coming. But if Starmer does try and cling on, and he doesn't do something about the situation we're in, and he doesn't listen to the British people, then, well, okay. We know where it's going.
Yes, Dave 1 second ago says, full English brekkie, anyone? Yeah, I like my full English brekkie. I like the eggs, I like the toast, I like the fried bread, I like the black pudding.
Jeff, shut up.
A few beans and all the rest of it. And I even like the B word. Lots of slices and rashers of the B word, which no one can ever mention again in case it causes offence. No, I like my bacon, and I like my bacon sarnies, and I love
don't.
I love a
Jeff,
good
I'm on a
sarnie.
diet. Will you shut up? I'm on a diet, man. I'm on the strictest diet known to mankind.
It's called a bacon sarnie diet. That's mine.
Don't. Don't. I want bacon sandwiches and tiramisu at the same time. I don't care.
At the same time?
Yes.
God,
you can put the bacon in the tiramisu. I'll still stuff it down my guts. I don't care. Oh, I'm so hungry. I haven't had a mouthful to eat yet today. Oh, come on, sympathy, please, ladies and gentlemen. We're back on course.
A lost pilgrim's journey, he says, God bless every British patriot who stands up to the corrupt police state. Now, I'll just show you a video. There's a young chap who goes along to the Speaker's Corner. You know, the heart of free speech in the UK.
Young Bob.
Anyway, this 17-year-old Sorry?
Young Bob.
Young Bob.
Young Bob.
Yeah. He went to Speaker's Corner and started asking some awkward questions of a certain demographic, because a certain demographic has taken over more and more of Speaker's Corner. I've been there a couple of times, and it's quite striking that they are trying to run the place, the free speech, as if it's their free speech and no one else's. The police have to be there as well. They have to actually allocate police for Speaker's Corner. And anyone is allowed to turn up at Speaker's Corner, stand up on a chair and say and talk about what they like. They can do so. It's legal. It's what it's there for. Anyway, this guy asked a few questions, and the persons of the other demographic mustered there were offended, I'm told, by his questions, and ran off to the police. And this is what happened.
I'm with the press.
Why are they chanting Free Palestine? Why? Oh, it makes me sick. We are an occupied country, Jeff. It absolutely makes my blood boil. That's Speaker's Corner. You should be able to stand there and have your say. And to be a young man like that.
You should be able to ask questions. You should be able to ask questions if people are pontificating. You should be able to say, "Wait, what about this? What about that?" I went there and I saw a couple of Christian guys. They were open to questions and they answered every single question openly and honestly in their faith. And if you can't face that sort of questioning, then we know where we're going. When they bring the Islamophobia law in, do you think that Speaker's Corner will have any Christians in it ever again, ever be allowed? No, that's part of this. And while that's been going on, I'll just ask you, how would you react to this going forward? This is Bournemouth Beach.
Oh, that's wonderful, Jeff. We're so enriched. I'm so glad we've got that in Bournemouth. I'm so happy. That makes me happy, Jeff. I'm getting my happy feeling. I'm in my happy place, Jeff.
Yeah, all the tourists go there to see this, of course, don't they? This is a big pull factor, isn't it?
It's part of our cultural enrichment, Jeff. It's why we should go there. I mean, if I didn't see that at the beach, I'd be bitterly disappointed. You know, I think, well, what the hell is this? You got your sand castles, you got your bucket and spade, you got your deck chairs, you know, you got your cans out, and all of a sudden, I'm like, well, hang on, nobody's praying facing east, is it? I think, or west, whatever, east. Yeah, they're not praying. I don't get it. You know, this is not a Brit. How can it possibly, ladies and gentlemen? Come on, ladies and gentle whiskers. How on earth could it possibly be a British beach unless you have people doing that on it? Beyond me.
Yeah, Britain's gone mad. Yes, Britain has definitely gone mad. I just want to go through a couple of these. Sorry. Thank you very much, Jig Jag Jug Ziz. Jeff, to say this, please. Rob looks like a cue ball. Who's Rob? You mean Richard?
I think they're referring to me because I have had a shave as well recently. I decided to shave only for a brief period of time. There's a reason for it. And then my beard comes back. Thank goodness for that. And all these comments, I mean, saying that they hate different things, this, that, and the other. But the real thing I'm hating right now is all you lot in the comment section. All of you mentioning all this lovely food, bacon, sausages. You're having a right. Oh, yeah. Oh, you like me, don't you? Yes, you nasty people, you.
And Independent Puppy, thanks very much for your contribution. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
And we also have Bernicon White Dragon Standard Time. White Dragon. I have to look this one up.
Hang on, White Dragon. There is
what is White Dragon.
Well,
Standard?
I don't know what that is, but there is. I mean, there's one interpretation I might be giving here, which is totally incorrect. The White Dragon. Was it Merlin? He was called when he was a young boy to King Vortigern's castle, I believe, and the foundations wouldn't remain intact because there was a white dragon and a red dragon underneath in a cave.
Oh, right, okay.
And yes,
right.
Maybe that might be something totally
wait a minute. Sorry. White Dragon Standard. That's White Dragon flag. That's the flag of the White Dragon. Standard is a flag. Yes, I got it now.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, that was an interesting story for you lot. Anyway,
thick tonight.
Yes, but you need to know about King Vort. You need to know about King Vortigern. Yes, He was a contemporary of Arthur's, apparently. So there we go. King Arthur, that is. Anyway, enough. Sorry, Jeff, move on. Thank you for that, by the way.
And thank you very much, Toby Wankadachi. I'm outraged after hearing about the lad who was petrol bombed for raising a St George flag over the weekend. It was actually a group of blokes. They were in a car. I think they had this thing thrown at them, and it hit the guy in the head. And it really did. It was a serious sort of injury. But the thing didn't go off. It didn't do it what it should have done. And if it
Thank goodness.
I mean, we're talking. This is where the left are going. This is the left's automatic response. You wait till you see what they want to do. If this revolution, this quiet revolution, builds and builds and builds, they will be pulling out violence. Why do you think they've joined together with a certain demographic?
Yeah. It'll get very nasty and very ugly, unfortunately. And they will. I mean, our first shot has been the flags, just by showing the flags of our respective countries within the United Kingdom. Their first real shot will be something very ugly, I'm afraid. And that will be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I honestly think that'll happen.
Yeah. And Brian Luff says, where could they fly to? No country would accept them. And this is referring, I think, back to what I said earlier about Nigel Farage, 5 flights a day. This is a big question, because if they come from Afghanistan and we want to fly them back there, we wouldn't be allowed to land. So what are we going to do with them? And I think the plan is, has been hinted at, is to have an offshore British territory place to put them. I mean, what we could do, technically, I suppose, is to give people dual nationality. One is UK, in the UK as it stands, and one to be in one of our offshore territories, and call that UK2. So you have dual nationality, and if you get thrown out of this one, you end up with, and you give away your Afghanistan nationality because you don't want to go back there. You still have UK2 nationality, and you live there. You get flown there. But I'm not sure if that would work. But just an idea.
We could make it a positive place, though, Jeff. This new United Kingdom too. We could. We shouldn't be so negative about this. We can make it lovely for them. They just. Yeah. We could build hotels for them there. New hotels.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to that preacher situation and the Bournemouth beach, we all know the police love squashing open Christian preaching, don't we? But why couldn't we question what happened on Bournemouth beach? We won't be allowed to. In fact, right now, we'd probably be discouraged from doing so, because once again, it's two-tier. The whole thing is two-tier. So I get sort of...
Somebody's suggesting the Falklands, Jeff, here to send these people back to, but I'm afraid we cannot do that. That'll be a very bad idea, because there's a lot of unexploded mines and munitions there. So we just wouldn't want that to happen. And
of course not. Of course not.
No, we can't be sending them there. That would be awful. So I'm afraid the Falklands is off the table. Just like that. Just like the island has got anthrax off Scotland for the next 100 and whatever years. We can't send them there either.
I've been told
because that would be awful. We can't do things like that.
I've been told that's now clear. I've been told it's now clear of anthrax, but it's not very big. It's about the size of a dinner plate compared to what we need now. So, yeah.
I'm not so sure it's clear, but that's interesting if it is.
Yeah. Someone says that a girl was attacked on Saturday night in public. Yes, that was that not the one that took place out in the area of that hotel? Yeah, in London.
Yes, possibly.
But I'm not saying that's where the attacker came from. So, and a girl was killed in Netherlands on the same night, which is, we shouldn't be here. There was one video that Richard and I looked at earlier, which we won't be showing, of a young Scottish lass who appeared to be frightened and angry at the same time, that sort of thing. And she was being approached by someone with a phone, and she wanted him to stay away, and he was filming her. And then he said, show us the knife, go on. And she had an axe in one hand and a knife in the other. And she was almost hysterical, saying, stay away from me, stay away from me. We've got young girls in the UK carrying this sort of stuff. And you know what's going to happen? She is going to get a visit from the police. Her parents are going to get a visit from the police. And she'll probably end up in care or something.
Now, first of all, Jeff, we have to say that we don't encourage any young girls or anybody to carry knives or weapons. But the sheer fact that she was a young girl like that is quite questionable. Why? Why was she doing that? What is it? Was she frightened or something? Had she been told to carry them?
Like she was.
Yeah, she certainly did look frightened. So, very strange circumstances. But hypothetically, if we are living in a day and age, I mean, she might have been... We have to be careful what you say, Jeff, obviously, but yeah, she might have been the aggressor. That's I'm sure that's what we'll be told anyway. Yeah, she might be the aggressor. But if we are Jeff, if we're in a country right now where young children are carrying weapons like that, if we're in this, I'm not saying that particular scenario, of course, because we don't know what was going on there. But if we are in a country where young children are carrying weapons like that out of fear, oh dear, then, yeah.
Now, as Chimmy Zaga says, the word racist literally means nothing because it's been so overused. Call me a racist, I don't care. And that's absolutely true. All you have to do, is question someone over anything. And if they're a different ethnicity to you, as the general ethnicity, majority ethnicity in this country, it will be called a microaggression. It will be called xenophobic. You mustn't question anybody, and this is half the problem why we've got this lack of education on numbers and English, because you can't pull anyone up for not knowing how to spell and how to count, because that's a microaggression as well. I mean, I just despair about where we're going with all of this. We need a good, healthy dose of good old-fashioned common sense, or as I used to say, common dog F word. But someone says, Carol Georgina says, I'm not sure we can win this peacefully, sadly. I think we can, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult. There are now some ingrained people who are so, they're so ingrained with their own entitlement that they think that we must do as they say. That includes everyone on the left and of a certain demographic, and it's got to end. And there are enough of us. What we've got to be doing is going out and making our voices heard. We've got to get out there, put the flags up. We've got to get out there. We've got to peacefully protest and make sure that by sheer numbers alone, they understand what they're up against. Until we do that, we're going to have a problem.
Jeff, the other day, I went to your baptism, and one of the so the reason I mentioned this is there is another way out, and it's to me it's the real true way out, and that's to regain our Christian heritage. I'm sorry if we lose that in vacuums. Something was always going to fill the vacuum created by secularism after the Enlightenment, which started dripping down from the 1700s all the way to today, and 1600s in some respects as well, prior to that. Anyway, I digress. Regaining our Christian heritage is so important because that's what built Western civilization. It wasn't anything else, okay? It was Christianity and its impact upon the individual and then as a society. Now, I went to your baptism, and it was filled with young men, strong-looking young men with purpose regained. I was like, what is this? And then recently I thought, right, I'm going back to the Orthodox Church, and I went to one not too far from where I live. Oh my goodness, it was the same thing replicated. It was the same thing. It's filled with young men, strong, purposeful, decent young men. Decent, good young men. And I was like, there's something going on here, Jeff. I was like, honestly, it's not just Christian church, but specifically the Orthodox Church that I see this. No wokerati there whatsoever. No. It is wokeless. Goodbye, woke. None of that nonsense. Anyway, I had to mention that, Jeff, because I believe that is there a peaceful way out of this? Yes, there is. We all have to go back to that, I'd say, to the Orthodox, but I mean, any church really is better than none.
Yes, yeah, any church is better than none, but as I chose the Orthodox Church, I have to drive 40 to 45 minutes there and then back again, but I think it's worth it to be part of it. And it is going to be the only way out, I think, part of the solution. And there is a growing interest in the church I go to. There's lots of people coming in to have a look around, asking questions.
It's exploding.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. Sorry, let's move on, Jeff.
Yeah, sorry. Now, one thing that I've read about, and lots of people have read about, is this Angela Rayner 2 houses thing. Well, she's actually got her own house somewhere, and now she's bought another one on a seafront somewhere for 800,000 quid. And she's got a Grace and Favour place.
Yeah.
So she's well housed, as it were. And of course, the lefties hate all this sort of thing. You know, if you don't live in a shoebox, each one of us, then they're not happy. And they're not happy that some people in the Tory party have lots and lots of second, third, fourth homes and rent this and that out. They don't like it. But it's okay when one of their side does it. And we've got the lefties out there supporting Angela Rayner buying this expensive property, despite Labour saying it hates second property owners and wants to tax them out of existence. So what does Angela know that we don't? And as I don't want to put you, dear viewers, off your evening pint and vino, I won't show you the image of our deputy PM in a rubber dinghy. But it only took them a year, didn't it, to go all Animal Farm on us. From 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, to 4 legs good, 2 legs better. And I wonder if she'll be buying a farm soon, waiting for the next government to reverse her own party's disastrous agricultural tax policies. So I detest that sort of champagne socialism in action.
Oh, they're all the same.
If they just said, bloody same. Yeah, okay. If they just said, yeah, okay, I don't care, go, I wouldn't. But no, she is of the party that says they want to do this for everyone else, but not for them. So sorry, no, just
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure about her net worth, but I believe Keir Starmer's a millionaire. I might be wrong. I believe Jeremy Corbyn's a millionaire, multi-millionaire. I could be wrong. The Sadiq Khan's a multi-millionaire. I could be wrong, and I think, all right then. So this is what socialism looks like, is it? Righty-ho then. Righty-ho. Yeah. Pensioners, winter fuel allowance completely removed for many of them. For many of them. In particular, the most vulnerable, which was very interesting. And I think, right, okay, that sounds fair. And yeah, it's okay for soldiers to sleep on the streets and for newcomers to be given hotel rooms. Okay, we get that. Those are your values. So these are the values of the left. The left can go and do one, mate. I'm sorry.
Yes.
They meant to want an egalitarian society. Absolute rubbish. As I get older, I start to look back at the Victorians and think, maybe there was something to that sort of rich philanthropist. Try saying that after a few pints. Yeah. There might have been something to it. The people who did actually lift people out of poverty were very rich people. But at the same time, I also look at many of them and with that to disdain as well. Funny old world we live in, Jeff. It's called the human condition. We're all complete, total and utter wang.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, when you look at some of the bigger companies back in those days, they built houses for people, to live in while they work for them and all sorts of things. And the Roundtree Foundation and others, there's a lot of wet lefties in these things. But they had a sort of a philanthropy was at the centre. And I don't know whether you know this, the 5-day week was started by the Boots Pill Company. Boots. Yeah. What they did was they found they could mechanise the whole procedure to making pills. And they found that they could do a 6-day work, 6 days of manual work in 5 days. Now, back in those days, the instant business decision would have been to sack 20% of the workers. But they didn't. They actually gave them Saturday off as well as Sunday, a 5-day week. And that's where it started. So it wasn't a case of, the bosses being all nasty. And no, they went and said, well, we're going to give our workers a break on this one. So it's not always the unions that are the ones that give people rights. John Dingle says, change your profile pic, fly the St. George flag. Might have to look at that, we'll see. And, John C., thank you very much, says, will a Scottish flag do, John Dingle? If you're in Scotland, why not? In fact, I've seen some images from Scotland with the Scottish flag flying, and it's marvellous
and in Wales
that they're trying to, it's
This is regaining the British identity that has been lost for so long. I mean, for a long time, Jeff, you and I know that I was very much against a lot of what was happening in the United Kingdom and the rule of Westminster imposing, pretty draconian and evil laws across the land equally. And I thought, actually, it'd be better if Wales was separate from this. But then again, of course, what political manifestation do we have in Wales except hard left, far left, absolute nutters? And I go, actually, do you know what? I think I'd rather be part of the United Kingdom, and somehow we all pull together and sort this out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because it needs to be sorted out. Yeah. It really does.
It does.
Yeah. As a kingdom, there is hope all of a sudden. It's a beautiful thing. This revolution which is taking place is one where people are regaining pride in the United Kingdom. I've discovered pride in the United Kingdom potentially for the first time over the past couple of years, and it's been a slow move there. I can tell you, Jeff will tell you, but as time has progressed, I have seen the benefits of this union, but not under this king.
As long as we have a proper king, yes. Yes.
Yes.
John CE3K says, don't mess with the Scottish women. Never mess with women.
No, but especially the Scottish women. Oh, and the Welsh women. Actually, I know I'd go along with that. Saying that, my wife, my good lady, she's from Devon originally, and you don't want to mess with them neither.
Exactly. And Toby Wankadachi, thank you very much, says, I'm from Kent. Our county motto is Invicta, because the Kentish people shooed William the Conqueror's people away after the Battle of Hastings. A shame Invicta is meaningless now after Kent being invaded every day by illegals. Yes, it's not like you're allowed to defend yourself.
Historical perspective, though, when you think of Hastings, and you think of what happened there and how the country changed. Once upon a time, there was an army which stood against the invasion of Kent, and now it's, very sad, Jeff.
All right. Oh, here's an interesting one from D. Emma. Now, I don't know whether you've seen the video of that person being asking on, I think it was telling the BBC that he wants everyone to give them a second chance in the Bell Hotel in Epping. Anyway, Emma says, heard that the Epping migrant asking for a second chance and had been here a few months is staff with an SIA badge issued in 2023. Now, the government would never allow that, would they? They wouldn't get someone to lie to us like that, would they?
No, that can't be true.
And if it can't have been the BBC,
can't be true.
Surely.
Oh, BBC! Goodness gracious me, they are... Oh, thank goodness for the BBC and all the truth they tell and how they've all got our best interests in heart.
Yes.
And, how they always tell the truth and they'd never, ever come down against the ordinary working people of this country. And it's good to know that the BBC also, in their television programmes, represents the demographic in their casting of the United Kingdom, especially when it comes to history programmes. You'll never find any inaccuracies with demographics in history programmes.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, sir. No. Absolutely not.
No, you never find any white queens, do you? I mean, yeah. Yes. Stevie Zero says the amount who have come in over the past year is a city the size of Dundee. Yes, it's just ridiculous now, and it's not going to stop. Labour is not going to stop it. The Tories will not stop it. There'll always be a reason for not stopping it. There'll be something else, some other law, some other rules, some other, oh, look, they've changed their tactics and we can't keep up. We've got the whole of GCHQ. We've got MI5 and MI6. We've got the police force. We've got Interpol and all the rest of it, which we could, liaise with and tap into and all this. But we can't stop some rubber boats. Got to think about it,
yes, well, as you
gentlemen.
said, yeah, as you said, Jeff, the Labour won't stop it. The Tories won't stop it, even though they're, you've got Robert Jenrick and what's his face as well, going out to France and, showing, acting like the action man, and saying, oh, look at all this over here. Look at all these dodgy people coming into our country. They didn't do it when the Tories were in power, of course. They've only done it since Labour have been in power. So it makes you go, why didn't they do that before? Very strange. Yes.
Yes.
But, I mean, the thing is, Labour won't do it, Tories won't do it. And if Nigel Farage, when he does get into power, doesn't do it, as I said, Jeff, keep saying, he'll be the most hated political figure in history.
Yes.
Because
he will have lied.
He would have lied, he would have let the British people down. And that is when I think you would see something very ugly appear in this country.
If he lays this big marker tomorrow, if he lays it down, he's got to follow through on it. It's got to be in his manifesto and it's got to be gone for. Now, I gather that Farage and his team are with the meeting civil servants now, just in case they form the next government, which is looking likely at the moment on the polling numbers. But the civil servants won't like what they hear. They won't be liking it one little bit. No. And as far as I'm concerned, the whole reason, I mean, I'm a cynic. The whole reason was saying, oh, yes, us civil servants, we're going to listen to you. We're going to look at your plans and see how we can help you. You reckon? They'll be looking for every legal block they can put in front of anything Reform UK wants to do. If Reform UK goes in there and saying, we're going to change the civil service, the legal blocks will be there before they even get there. It's a nightmare. In fact, it might be better not to talk to them, because they will just find out what you want to do and stop you. It's like pre-warning your enemy, isn't it, really? But there you go. That's just my thought. Anyway, Jeff Redcliffe says there is a volcanic island off the coast of New Zealand. Yes, isn't it called Australia? That's where we used to send all the bad people, wasn't it? Yeah. There's a comment here about what we were talking about earlier from Angela Regan.
About the Scottish girl
been attacked. Yeah, the young girl's sister had been attacked. Now, can you imagine a 12-year-old girl? I mean, thinking she knows. This tells me she knows the police are useless. This establishment is not going to help her family. That is the truth, isn't it? Really, that is the truth. Nothing will happen. In fact, her sister will probably be branded like all those other girls were. Do you remember what they were branded as? No, this has gone far enough.
If that is true.
I'm getting really angry here.
Yeah, if this is true, and if that is true, then I'm trying to think of a way to say what she did was wrong at the moment, Jeff, by carrying those things. I'm trying to think of a way to say that she was wrong. I can't find. Yeah, because you should never. Children can't be carrying things like that. But at the same time, I'm just trying to think of being in her position if her sister was attacked. What would I do?
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want to think what I would do. Anyway, I'm going to get off of that subject because it does my blood pressure no good at all. That sort of thing. So, yeah, it's, yes. Here we go. Raise the colours on your YouTube. Do it today. Hey, I'm do it every time, me. I've got mine on. I've also got some English cufflinks, but I might have to get an English one of these as well. So, yes, I've got about 90 of these to give out on September the 13th when I'm in London. So I bought a whole load of them, and I got about 85, 90 left. So I'll have a bag.
Good on you, Jeff. Good on you, mate.
Ready to give out to people if they haven't.
I'm going to start wearing the St. David's cross. I am. That's what I think Wales should have. Personally, I've never liked the Red Dragon. It's quite a new addition, the Red Dragon. Even though I think you should, if you're Welsh, because that's what it represents at the moment. Yeah, but it was the 1950s, I think, that the Red Dragon was formally introduced by the royal family. I think it was, who pushed forward His Majesty the Queen, I believe. I might be wrong. But the cross of St. David's, to many, or the flag of the standard of Owen Glyndŵr is another one. That's another one to consider. I mean, we've got a few options here in Wales, and yeah, the dragon is. It is. Look, it's become symbolic of Wales, but I think. I don't know, maybe we should have a vote on it. Yes, let's have a vote. All the Welsh to get together and vote. What flag should you have?
Well, the trouble is, you see, that we've got St. George, the dragon slayer, haven't we, in England?
Well, yes, your flag represents St. George and the cross that he would have had on his shield. I mean, I'm not sure, was he not linked to Templars, but anyway. But St. David, who is the patron saint of Wales, has his own standard, well, not standard, but a flag, which is the the black background with the yellow cross. It's beautiful. It's a very, very nice cross indeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Brian Luff says we should have MPs on the minimum wage and bonus paid on results. Yeah, I've often thought maybe we could just link their pay rises to any increase or decrease in GDP per capita, which is a measure of how wealthy we are individually in the nation. It's a measure of that. So at the moment, GDP capita is flatlining, if not going down. So to boost GDP capita, they have to work hard at boosting people at work and all the rest of it, and making a country where wealth is created. They would have to do that. They would have to put laws in place to do it if they wanted their pay rises. So there you go.
Yes, we've actually had that conversation for many years, going back a good 15 years there, Jeff, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Well, 17 years now.
It still stands the test of time.
Yeah, because I mean, how do you incentivize good performance by MPs and stop them being such self-serving bastards?
Yeah, exactly. And thank you, Toby Wankadachi. The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." That was from Ronald Reagan, and he was absolutely right. The government should be out of our way. The government should be making sure we've got good roads, good transport system, however they want to do it, however it's achieved. I don't care whether it's nationalised or privatised or whatever. They've got to make sure it actually works. They've got to make sure we've got lots of water and lots of cheap energy. That's the thing that drives prosperity, especially in the modern world where you've got good, cheap energy. If you've got good, cheap energy, you can make steel, you can make aluminium, you can make things in the country. While you make sure that energy is so expensive that it costs you an arm and a leg to switch the light on or boil the kettle, nothing ever is going to get done. So, yeah, that's the sort of thing we're talking about here.
Yes, and there's a comment here. Sorry,
I just want to say, John Davis, thank you. It's refugees welcome, ? Then take 3 illegal migrant men into your home. Hypocrisy if you reject it. France is not at war, not asylum seekers, no second chance. Yeah, we really have got to be. I don't know whether you know, but the legal bar to being accepted as an asylum seeker is quite low. It's quite low. It's designed to be low so that it's not too hard for you to prove that you're an asylum seeker, so you'll be safe. The trouble is that's now being used against us, because everybody knows the bar's extremely low. It used to be almost pull up a bollard and I'll spin you a yarn, and then you'd get in. It's almost that bad. It's an old naval term, by the way. But they did try to stiffen it up a bit, but in the final analysis, the UN sets that bar, the United Nations. And guess what? We signed up to that treaty decades ago. It's all been built by the UN gradually. And that's one of the other things they did. But it's not, sort of prove your case beyond a reasonable doubt, or even on a balance of probability. So it's not like that or like that. It's actually like that. It's very low. That's why so many of them are accepted. But even in this country, we have a far higher acceptance rate than almost all the other countries in Europe. So there you go.
Yes, there's comment here by FP Vangel 4495. Wales needs its own government again. Yeah, something I was talked about earlier is, do you know that it would be wonderful if Wales was self-governing in some respects, but part of a union had an agreement. The only problem with Wales being self-governing, as I previously stated, is the idiots that it would get in. The left-wing woke, for some reason, became very popular, particularly in the South Wales valleys. And then Plaid Cymru, which was never a left-wing woke political party to begin with, that suddenly changed into a left, like hyper woke under Leanne Wood, and the rest is history, really. So thank goodness we didn't have full home rule during this period of time, especially under Mark Drakeford, whatever his name was. I mean, that was awful. That was just disgusting what we went through during the lockdowns in Wales. Far worse than what you had in England. And it was almost like a competition then between Nicola Sturgeon and Mark Drakeford on who could apply the most stringent lockdown rules. It was hideous. Absolutely hideous. But, yeah, I just think we need to come together as a nation. We got all these issues about, devolution, Max, and independence. We've got bigger problems at the moment than to be holding those conversations. We have to come together to bring back what was. And then we'll start. Let's have that conversation about devolution and, independence at a later date, if people have the stomach for it, because they might find that there's something worth fighting for in the United Kingdom after all.
Yeah. Richard, we've been picked up. We have been,
something
has been pointed out, which is obvious, which we should never have said. Not any church will do. The Bible warns against that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been picked up. We've been found wanting.
Yeah, I suppose when I say any church, I'm speaking within reason. I think you know what I mean.
Find the
say
best
any church
one
will
you
do.
can. Find the best one you can.
Yes, absolutely.
You at the end of the day, I think.
Yes.
Yes. Now, there was a comment back here, which I like. I can't find it now because it's gone flying past. Here's one that I just want to check. Yes, from Brian Luff. Richard, I'm from Pontypridd.
I was in Pontypridd the other day, actually. I was going over to meet you, Jeff, in where were we? I can't remember the name of the place where we were.
I don't know.
Well,
I can't even spell them, let alone say them.
Yeah, but anyway, I drove through it. In fact, was I down there? I drove past there yesterday, actually. Past Pontypridd. Lovely old Pontypridd, I gotta say. I've got fond memories of Pontypridd. Sometimes in the summer, Pontypridd, as I said, is a town that can look like it's raining on a sunny day, just like Merthyr, where I grew up. And that's the way the valleys are because, but wonderful place, but wonderful memories of Pontypridd. They used to have, the high street there used to be absolutely superb, actually. And all the valleys towns had great high streets. Yeah. God bless you anyway, and thank you for that.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yes. I'm just sort of going through the Mossad has the most.
Oh, hang on. Jeff, just a second. On Pontypridd. Now then. Not many of you will know this, but my mother, my late adopted mother, was a beauty queen. Yes, and she won, what was it, Miss Glamorgan, Miss Wales, and then Miss Great Britain, and then it was Miss Empire Games in 1957. Now, she was a very beautiful woman, was my adopted mother, and she went to a dance once, And a chap from Pontypridd asked her for a dance and asked her out. And that was Tom Jones. There you go.
He's good at name dropping, isn't he?
Yeah,
Is that the picture Richard, is this the picture that you've got in your house?
it is my mother. Yes, that's my mother. Yes, indeed.
Yes, she is very, very beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
was.
God rest her soul. Yes.
Sorry, I'm reading some of the comments, Richard. So
You go for it, mate. You go for it.
yeah. It's all right. Yeah.
English
Yeah,
Rose.
talk about weather manipulation. I'm not sure about weather manipulation to try and create a new lockdown. It must technically be possible at some level. I do know they can make it rain because you can see clouds and stuff like that. But I'm not sure about what else you could do. I mean, if we were into proper weather manipulation, we wouldn't have a net zero problem, would we? But or maybe that's why we've got a net zero problem. Who knows? But yeah, it's one for another time, and probably comes in with all the jet streams and all the rest of it that we've been seeing at different levels. Yes, sorry.
Weather manipulation. I've heard a lot about this in HARP over the years, and there is a lot to it. You know, it's like chemtrails. There's a hell of a lot to that. You know, I'm not going to go fully down that route in tonight's show. Maybe we need to do something on that in the future. But there's something rather, and let's just take it on the basic level. If you look up at the sky and you see what we used to call contrails many years ago. Yeah. There was the plane. I used to watch the contrail behind it, and as it slowly dissipated, the further the plane moved along. Now, it all looks very different. Now, what's changed? That's what I want to know. What has changed since the 1970s and 80s till now that our clouds, our skies are filled with all these zigzagging crosses and, from... Anyway, not going down that route tonight.
Yeah, they do seem to stay around a lot longer than they did.
Yes.
Now, thank you, John Dingle. He says, I am a Hermetic Gnostic. The Bible has been lost in translation. All the churches are woke, weird and corrupt. I even know of a Marxist Anglican minister.
Well,
the church I go to goes back to it's a apostolic church. It's based on what the apostles taught. So it's not. And it hasn't. In fact, I think one of the major changes they made to the creed, for example, is added, or not the creed, into the teachings, is that they added in those who travel by land, water, and air. They had to add the and air in because it wasn't around at the time. So they had to, it's minor things like that have changed. But so I don't see any wokeness in church I go to either. None at all. In fact, it's one of their pride things. Really is we're not woke. This is what we've done for centuries, and we'll just continue doing it. So yeah. Sorry, just going back. Yeah, a lot of people here are saying they're using weather technology in the military, for example, against. I don't know. It's. I was in the military, but up until the year about 2000, just before 2001, I never came up against any sort of.
Well, you wouldn't.
Weather talk.
You're in a submarine. You were under the ocean. Is it raining? I don't know.
I can tell you.
Is it a sunny day? Well, actually, I haven't got a clue.
Funny. Well, I used to look through the periscope, so I knew. But it's quite funny. In a bad storm, a submarine 100, 200 feet down will roll with the waves quite markedly if it's a big storm. So, yeah, you do feel it down there.
I wouldn't have done it, Jeff. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have been under. Oh, good grief. And you used to sleep next to a nuclear reactor as well, didn't you, Jeff? I think, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. We used to walk over twice a day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day to go and brief the crew, the engineers at the back end. So you'd walk over it through a couple of big doors and over don't loiter. You have to. That's not that bad. But you go back there and yes. But when I first joined submarines as a trainee, you had to sleep up in the torpedo compartment, and generally your bunk was where a torpedo should be, and you'd be sleeping with this huge, great torpedo above your head, and it's got 800 pounds of Torpex in it, and as the submarine's rolling, it goes clink, clink like that above your head, and it's like that.
You don't want to fall asleep in one
go.
of those. If you saw action, you wouldn't want to fall asleep in one of those. I mean, it's like, yeah, torpedoes away. Anyone seen Jeff?
Yeah, so that was yeah. Anyway, that's my sea story for the day. There you go.
Old salty sea dog.
I think young Mr. Powell here has a very forthright view on what he thinks needs to be done.
Well, we'll see if that's what Nigel Farage says tomorrow. That'll be telling.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Actually, it was because it's being trailed as a really, really radical move on this front. And I believe it's going to be talking about leaving the ECHR and various other bodies. There are a few problems with that, but nothing is insurmountable with political will to get things done. We just don't have political will. Keir Starmer is a rule follower. If it says in the rules that we have to do this, he'll just do it. And any laws he makes will enhance that we have to do it. He won't ever fight anything. He won't change anything fundamentally so that this country benefits. He doesn't. And that's why I think that Labour will be creating as many anti-UK and anti-British bear traps as they can within the political system to prevent any future party trying to dig the UK out of this dark, socialist, woke mire. And that includes an economic meltdown, because an economic meltdown will make it impossible for any future government to do anything other than it's told by the International Monetary, oh God, you know who I mean. So the IMF, so they are going to, the International Monetary Fund, yeah. So they are going to be dictating what we do after any economic meltdown. And it will take ages to dig us out of it. We won't be able to borrow any money on our own terms. So it's not like we can even borrow money to invest in something for the future to change it. We'll be dictated to by those globalists who want us to be cowed and want us to be conquered, basically. And I think it's going to be very, very difficult for any government coming in to dig us out of that. I'm just hoping it does not last another year, let alone another 4.
Yeah, we'd have to default on our debts. Yeah. We'd have to default.
Yeah.
Just default.
Yeah, but
the only way out.
That means then you won't be borrowing, you see. If you default on your debts,
yes, exactly.
And all the rest of it.
Yeah. We stop borrowing. And we actually take a little look at modern monetary theory, which I'm still open-minded to.
I'm open-minded, but not convinced about that. But there you go.
Yeah, it's an interesting way. Yeah. I mean, everyone says, as soon as you start saying about actually money creation, as soon as you start talking about money creation, not quantitative easing, that was a different thing, asset swap scheme. Yeah. But when you start talking about money creation, instantly people start going, oh, Weimar Republic, Zimbabwe, that's how it'll end up. And it's like, well, no, not if it's targeted, not if it's extremely specific, and you've actually got people monitoring how much money is going into the system and how much is being taken out. That's a different thing. But all of a sudden, though, that's going to go against the globalists massively. That's the problem. Yeah.
Yes. Now, Spartakel says, what do we need when you have a population with you? And that's a big thing. If you've got a population with you and we all knuckle down and build the country back up, then all things can be done. And that was sort of what they did after the Second World War. And that included really a command economy type thing where everything was driven centrally, but the whole country knew it had to be rebuilt and we knew we had to move on. We may be entering that sort of ground, but the trouble is we now have millions of people in this country who want the complete opposite of what we want. And that's what we have got to address. That really is what we've got to address. Because the two big components here are mass inward migration, both legal and illegal, and that other nation destroyer, net zero. Labour will want both of these hardwired into the system forever. So best our next government, whether it be Reform UK or possibly Ben Habib's Advance UK, had better be ready with a bulldozer and a wrecking ball to quickly smash through whatever rearguard blocks are left behind. And a civil service recruitment freeze would be a good place to start. And I say freeze because redundancies are extremely expensive. When we get rid of the useless civil servants we don't want, we need them out on their ear, not with a massive payoff at our expense after all the damage they've done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway.
Totally agree.
That's how I think about it. It just makes you angry when you look at what these people have done to our country. And I hate it when Keir Starmer comes up and says, oh, it's all good, actually. You know, I'm going to put forward a positive message about where we're at. Where's he going to start with that one? The only records he's breaking are the numbers of boats coming over here. That's it. And then we have, now, who was it? The energy minister, I can't remember his name, had a go at Richard Tice, who was saying we need to ditch net zero. And he said, oh, Richard Tice wants to get rid of all the hundreds and thousands of the green jobs that we... And I thought, what hundreds of thousands of green jobs? We're now going into reverse on jobs. Net zero and tax policy is putting people out of work, not into work. Doesn't matter how many green jobs you make if all the other jobs that you lose as a result are more. You know, I
was watching something today, Jeff, though. I was watching something today about, do we talk about jobs and industry, that tens of thousands of people, was it 90,000? No, it can't have been 90, but tens of thousands of people are losing their jobs in the service industry right now. Basically, not just, specifically in, dining and catering and pubs, they had a good hammering under the Tories, especially them in lockdown. So many pubs closed and restaurants and businesses closed during lockdown. But now it's just going into another level because of taxation. We're looking at a very different country if we're not careful very soon. And I think there should be a push if Farage does get in, which he will, I'm sure. But if he does get in, if he turns out to be to exceed our negative speculations upon him, Jeff. But if he does exceed, I'm just talking hypothetically here. If he does, then he would need to put in place a complete operation to reopen British pubs, I think. We need pubs open. We need pubs. We need churches. I'm not saying everyone should be a drunkard. No, if we don't need that, but getting together communally, not just at church, which we should do. I mean, the perfect scenario is you go to church 5 days a week, right? And then afterwards, you meet the family in the pub, or you go with your family to the church. Then afterwards, you go to the pub, and you have a little bite to eat and something to drink. You think, oh, lucky if you can afford that. Yeah, at the moment with taxation, absolutely. But if taxations were massively dropped, all of a sudden you'd have more of your own money in your pocket after a hard day's work and week's work. The prices in the pubs would fall. The price of food would fall. Everything's just like, what are we paying all this tax for, Jeff? What for? What's the purpose of it? Other than to pay for vanity schemes and other people coming into the country and soaking it up. And of course, the money we send abroad as well. You think, what?
Yeah. Carpe diem. Yeah. Someone is saying that you're a greenie. I must remind you, Jeff, Richard has a green curtain. He must be a net zero fan. Yes.
I have to. Do you know what? Wait. When I was 19, I was a bit of an idealist myself, and I did join the Green Party. I think it was for about a month or two. And then I got out of it. I thought, hang on, this is a load of absolute nonsense. Look, they had vegan food there. That was it. I was sold. I thought, at the time, I thought, this is nice. Let me try something different. And I was eating this vegan food. Oh, yeah, this is nice. A bit of salad. And then a month or two later, I realised I don't like effing salad. I can't stand it. I don't like vegetables. What am I doing? Time to leave the Green Party. Pronto.
Absolutely. I never joined. Yeah, so there you go. Never joined the Green Party because they're just they're deep red communists dressed up as green people, green eco warriors. They're extremely communist, so don't go anywhere near them.
Oh, here we go. Did you have hair back then? Yes, I did. I've shown the photo before. I will show it again. Let me find the bugger here.
Yeah.
Keep talking, Jeff. Keep talking.
Sorry, I'll just say thank you very much, Toby Wonkadachi. Again, I'm an atheist, but very conservative, very patriotic, brought up with British Christian morality, and I would die defending this Christian nation. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, that's what we need. I'd love you to be not an atheist and a Christian, because it's... Oh, look, here we go. It's not in focus.
There you go.
There you go. That's Richard
That's
in
me.
the day.
Me with hair. There you go. Yeah. I like having no hair.
Good.
I'm actually happier being bald than I did when I had hair.
Yeah.
I much preferred it. Honestly, I did. I genuinely did. I as soon as I could shave my hair off, I started, off it came. Great.
Yeah.
Yes, it is me, Edward. Yes, it is. That's not you. Yes, it is. And yes, I did do hair modelling, funnily enough, believe it or not. Look, it's what happens. You get old.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And John Dingle, thank you. Starmer alters rules to suit his agenda. There you go. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's quite funny how we must obey international law where immigration is concerned and all the rest of it. But when we're giving away islands with people on them or people who should be on them, that's a completely different kettle of fish, because he doesn't want them to be on that island and he doesn't want them to have any rights over it. So he just gives it away, and he effectively turns those people into Mauritians. I mean, the whole thing is just a joke with him.
Yep.
GKSC says you can vote for any of the approved parties. Voting will not fix this. Yes, the thing is, it's very interesting, isn't it, that you can only vote for approved parties, approved by the Electoral Commission. So who is deciding who can run as a party and who can't? The people who run the Electoral Commission. So... yeah, you can't just turn up and demand to be on the ballot paper. It just doesn't work that way. And the idea is to keep out people who are a danger to us. Well, it hasn't worked so far, has it?
Oh, dear. Yes.
Oh, dear, yes.
So we ended up with Keir Starmer. Yeah, there we go.
That's how we
the
got
ballot
it, yes.
box works, ladies and gentlemen. It's a rigged game, you can tell.
And it's quite funny now that everyone was thinking that Sadiq Khan, as the London mayor, if it would become an MP, he would stand in a seat, become an MP, and then Keir Starmer would go and we'd have Sadiq Khan. But Angela Rayner's put a bit of a blocker on that one. She's putting through a rule that says you can't be London mayor and an MP at the same time. So he'd have to leave his other job before he could stand. But I've got to tell you, even in London, I'm not sure that Labour would get in now. I think it would be an independent that wins next time in London.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Or Jeremy Corbyn's candidate. It won't be Labour.
Yeah, yeah. So we just got from Blow In Free, a new subscriber. Thank you. Welcome on board. And we're not going yet, but I'm just going to say, because I usually say this at the end, but we're not going yet. But I will say, if you like this video, press the like button and subscribe and click the all option. Then you get a notification every time we do a new video. And if you really like, become a member, which is an option if you're on an Android phone or on desktops and laptops. Anyway, there we go. Please, thank you. God bless you.
David Lunn says, it's getting scary now. What's those tents for? Those are the tents we were talking about earlier to put, cadavers in and all the rest of it when some big event happens. Are they going to bomb you on the 13th of September? I think that would be a bit of an own goal, because, the march is going to be in the vicinity of Westminster and the Houses of Parliament. Actually,
Yeah.
Actually, what really worries
that's not going to
me is
happen.
if we,
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But
if
that happened, that would trigger off war. That would be war. That would be civil war.
It's not going to happen. It's not
done.
going to happen.
No, it's not going to, because they know that.
If we go down the route we're going with the demographic makeup of the country, J.D. Vance is absolutely right. We will be a nuclear nation with another demographic with its finger on the button. And I know where they would go. It would be almost instantaneous. But there you go. That is if they got launched, because I don't think they would. But and thank you, Coppadasio. The only non-woke church where I live is the Jehovah's Witnesses, but I have no interest rejoining them. The Jehovah's
I can see a point there.
Yeah, I do.
I
see
can
the
see a point there. Look, there are Jehovah's Witnesses who will be watching this, and I just hope that you're right with God and with Jesus, and that's the main thing. I actually do. When the Jehovah's Witnesses knock on the door, I always stand and have a chat with them, have a good theological debate, and But I recommend, if you can find, but it's funny though, isn't it, that the only non-woke church you can find is the Jehovah's Witnesses. It does say a lot. I mean, the Church of England, the Church in Wales, completely fallen. They're completely gone. They're gone. And that's a shame, because there's a lot of great ministers still within those churches, but they are subject, I'm afraid, to the direction of their church and the mandates therein.
Yes, they just follow the latest fad on the woke front, mostly. Wayne asks, which of you is Statler and which one is Waldorf from the Muppets? yes, because we get that. We get that a lot. We sit up on high, don't we, and look down and laugh at the frog.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. Oh, here we are. This be very patriotic from Lord Viking Live. Rule Britannia. Britannia rules the waves. Yes, we once did, didn't we?
It did.
Yes.
It certainly did.
Yes, so I'm not sure that's where we are right now. Oh, look, here we got... sorry, I'm catching up with... Yes, David Lund, thank you. Events are going to be risky. Will English flags be okay at the 3 test matches versus Australia in October? Well, that's the thing, isn't it? By then they'll have probably tried to ban the English flag or change it into a rainbow type thing. That'll spark a civil war as well.
It's so, do you know what? It's incredible. It's like, for so long though, we've had the perception of the white English, in particular English, working class as being thick yobbos, shaven-haired thugs. And what's sad is that these were just, for generations, just decent, ordinary working class people who liked the pint, they liked the football, they were patriotic through and through, and a lot of them aren't with us anymore, and society just looked down their nose at them. Now the white working class are being, they're just coming along and saying, we don't care what you think of us. How dare you? How dare you? You're not going to, honestly, you're not going to put this genie back in the bottle, are they, Jeff? They're just not going to do it. No. Because the white working class of this country, and it's not just the white working class, there are working class of other colours and demographics as well. We've got there are so many amazing people who contributed towards the society, but it's been the white working class who have been demonized. That's what has to be said.
Yeah. Yes. And the whole thing is that It doesn't matter what colour you are. I look at it as the settled population, the people who have made the effort. I'll be honest, I didn't have to make the effort because I was born in this country, and so were my parents, so were my grandparents. So I was just brought up with it. But those who came here from other places and made the effort and joined in, great, fantastic, wonderful.
Yes.
Of them. It's the people who come here who think they're entitled to change everything that I object to. But that's just me. And I didn't know about this statistic from Aztec Styles. Why are the English 20th on the social housing list and Somalians are the first? I didn't know that. Might have to go and have a look at that and see what... Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. But
yes,
we'll have to check it out.
Yes. Scoop Dog says a full United Kingdom breakfast just doesn't sound the same as a full English breakfast. But actually, I thought there are. Don't they have a full Scottish breakfast and a full?
They
Welsh
do, and a
breakfast
Welsh.
as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a Welsh breakfast.
Yeah, I thought so. 'Cause I've been to all. The only place I haven't been actually is Northern Ireland. Because when I was in the Navy, I wasn't allowed to go there for some obscure reason.
No, I do enjoy. I remember in Edinburgh I had a fantastic. The Scottish breakfasts are great, but I do love haggis. They put haggis on the breakfast. Like, I love haggis. Oh, awesome!
Haggis
and the Welsh breakfast
burns tonight.
Yeah, but the Welsh breakfast has got lava bread, which I love. Oh, lava seaweed, effectively, but it's cooked seaweed. And you think, oh, what? No, try it. Really try it. And they make little with oat cakes, and it's lovely stuff. And also you have cockles as well. Cockles on a Welsh breakfast as well. So that's an interesting one.
Now, Geekite says decolonised the English flag. Yes, they tried that. That's part of all of this, isn't it? We must decolonise it by you not flying it. It's nasty, it's divisive. We must fly every other flag except your national flag because your nation is awful and your flag is awful and you're awful for being part of it. Well, we're about to show them the error of their ways, shall I say. Yes. Now, I just want to mention one thing that really did get up my nose about all of this sort of stuff. There was an NHS surgeon of the Royal Free London NHS Trust who wore a Free Palestine badge while operating on a Jew. Yes, an NHS surgeon. Makes you think, doesn't it? And if a member of the NHS staff wants to openly wear a Christian cross, then bye-bye job. So it really does pee me off when we read about things like this.
How many nurses have been sacked though for? And this is what I remember reading about one nurse, and she was sacked for just trying to preach the gospel to somebody else, but that other person then got offended by the gospel of Christ, and she lost her job.
It comes down to if may I pray for you? Someone's really ill. I mean, if anyone came up to me and said, "May I pray for you?" I'd go, "Yes, please." What if they have a different faith and they're praying for you? What is there a problem with that? Really, if a Muslim came in and I was really seriously ill and they came over and wanted to pray for me, am I meant to be offended by that? I couldn't be offended if someone cares. Oh, well, that's such a
good point, Jeff. That is such a good point. Even if you're diametrically opposed to their religion, somebody showing that kind of love and care, yeah.
I like this one from Toby Wankadachi. Most bald thugs I know vote Labour. Yes, they do, and they join in all those protests, don't they? Yeah. Yes.
There's nothing wrong with being bald.
What have we got here? Someone says, I need food. Yeah, I always need food. It's one of those things. It's like water, sleep, shelter.
Don't. Food. Don't. Please. I've lost 2 stone in nearly 2 weeks, over 2 weeks. And I'm just like, okay.
See, this is what we need. If we got to change the Cross of St. George, it's got to be changed into a full breakfast, a full English breakfast, or, eggs and sausages and bacon and stuff on the flag.
Can you all stop bloody talking about food, all of you? This is doing my head in. It's like, here we go, food, bacon, sardies. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Enough of the bacon.
Oh, here's a good
lot.
question. It says, how many cops will be bitten this year at Notting Hill? Now, Notting Hill really does wind me up. It had 100 arrests and dozens of knives were seized before it even started, before it kicked off. Yesterday, 140 arrests. Police were assaulted. There was possession of weapons, possessions of drugs, robbery and sex offences. And you're telling me this is a good...
enrichment. It's all cultural enrichment.
This is a good family event, really. I mean, really, I'm sorry. We won't know. I mean, I don't know. Richard, have a quick Google. What is the latest statistics? Because it's 8 o'clock. Surely they'll have had today's arrests out as well by now on Notting Hill Carnival. Because they've got another day tomorrow, haven't they? Have they? I think they've got another day tomorrow. And that's usually the worst day. But, yeah, I don't know. It just makes me sort of worried about the future when I see stuff like that. Oh dear, what's this? Fat Cat says the best breakfast is mice on buttered toast. Yeah, cats would rather like that, wouldn't they? Fresh mice. Oh, yes.
All I can see still is 140 arrests at the moment, Jeff.
Oh, right, yeah. So obviously they haven't had a chance to tot up today's arrests. There's probably so many. But it'll all be put off as mostly peaceful, you know, apart from all the knives and the robbery, and because lots of police officers have been attacked this year as well. One was sent to hospital. Now, if that had been, I don't know, a Tommy Robinson rally, what do you think would be happening? Yeah.
Tell you lot in the comment section, you're so cruel. You are so cruel. Spaghetti on toast with cheese and brown sauce. I'd skip the brown sauce, right? But I would eat my left arm right now to have that. Yeah. Beans on toast. I haven't had a carb now in 21, 22 days. Not a single one.
Oh dear.
All I've had is meat, salt, and water for 21 days. One meal a day, and beans on toast. The thought of it, it's just my mind is blown by beans on toast. Like, really, I would swap steak and all the things everyone thinks is wonderful. I just have minced beef, I do personally, but at the moment for 21 days, and beans on toast. You have no idea. Pizza.
RPLA, as Modius says, breakfast, coffee and a spliff.
That's illegal. I'll have you know. Yes, smoking that.
Can't be doing that.
I've never done that ever before in my life.
Absolutely. And Broken Prophet says bacon and bean soup. Yes, that is rather nice as well. Enough. Just shut up. Just shut up, you right.
Bar.
So you don't want me to talk about the sirloin steak medium rare with the cold beer then? No, we won't talk about the sirloin steak with the cold beer.
Sirloin steak doesn't mean anything to me, actually, because I've been eating minced beef. So you're pretty on safe ground there with it if you talk about steaks and beef.
Right. Right, yes, there's lots of stuff about food in there. Anyway, so really what we must be talking about is the state of the nation, not the state of the kitchen. The state of the nation is that unless we push hard and keep putting the flags up, don't let them put us off, don't be taken in by all their rubbish about it being racist and bigoted and all the rest of it, they know exactly how important national symbols and emblems are. They know. That's why they've been trying to stop us flying these flags for so long. And it's our job to let's rub their noses in flags. Let's really rub their noses in flags. Our flags. Because they wanted to rub our nose in diversity. Let's rub their noses in flags.
I wonder if the same people who think the English flag is racist think that the Pakistani flag is racist. I wonder if they do. Or the Palestinian flag is racist. Are those flags racist when they fly those? I mean, or is there only one flag? Or okay, the Union flag, the Union Jack, is it C? The Union flag, the English flag, the Scottish and Welsh flag. Are they all just racist? But every other flag in the world isn't. It's just those. Oh, of course, Israel's flag is racist as well. We mustn't forget that. Yes, there's going to be some idiot saying that. So, yeah, okay, right, there we go. There's only certain flags which are racist, right? Okay.
Yeah, and it happens to be ours is one of them, and it's not. So we just need to just throw it back in their faces. And I was on Twitter earlier, and I was pointing out to these people, and they were going on and on about it. In the end, I said, so the Palestinian flags, the symbol of hate against Israel, the symbol of hate against Israelis, is being flown all over the place in the UK, and you don't care about that. And that's why they fly those flags, because they know how important they are and the message it sends. The more flags they have up, the more support they seem to have. You get it? That's why when you go round on elections in America, when they have their big presidential elections, you'll find every garden has got a placard, one of those big posters in it with either red or blue, because they know the importance of showing everybody openly what they're thinking. Okay? And the more you put up, the more it disappoints the other side and gets them all despondent.
Well, Jeff, wasn't there that video? I sent to you? It showed a chap who was ordered by the police to take down his flag. I'm not sure if he was arrested, but he was told to take down an English flag because apparently it was distressing to migrants in a migrant hotel, I think it was. I'm not sure if that was true. That was the framing of it on X, on Twitter. Whether that is true and that was the actual scenario, I'm not entirely sure. But I mean, if that's the situation we're in, it's like, okay, so the Palestinian flag and all these different nations' flags, are they being flown with the same sort of equal? If we apply equal measures here, are they being flown to intimidate us? Are they trying to say that their flags intimidate us? Do you know what? If somebody's intimidated by the Welsh flag, right, or by the Union flag, or by the English flag, if they're genuinely intimidated by it, they're in the wrong effing country, because those are the flags of this country. It's not that I want them to be intimidated by those flags. I'm just saying that it's probably not a good idea to be in a country where that's the national flag and it's shown every effing where. You know, come on, let's get some sense into the bloody situation.
How can you say that the emblems of the country you have come to for safety and a better life is a bad flag? How can you say that? How can you even hint at it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, flag wars. Yeah. But that's what we're involved in now. We've got to make sure we outnumber them. You know,
that's very simple.
Once they
but
get the message, you keep it going. You don't stop. You don't stop now. This goes on forever. This goes on and on and on, and just keeps going on. The message will be there all the time. So yeah.
And by the way, Jeff, I'm going to be unsubscribing half of this lot in the comment section. Yeah, all they're doing is talking about food. If I could unsubscribe you, I would.
Right, we'll get off the food. We'll get off the food then, Richard, and we'll just say that Starmer is toast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I have to put up with every day. I have done since 2007. Yeah, since 2007. I have put up with this every day for multiple hours a day on the phone.
Yes, but
true.
Lord Viking Live is even worse. Starmer on toast.
That's one thing that I am not hungry to eat. Okay, all right,
Exactly,
that's one thing. Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, this is a true statement from Everyone is Cucked. It's a different country in their head. It is, isn't it? In their head, in their Westminster bubble head, they've got this sort of thing about, you know, every British person wants to live next to a solar panel and a wind farm and next to sort of
migrant hotel.
hardline Islamists and all the rest of it, and they all and they don't want white neighbours. They hate, that's what they think. They do. They think that. It's about time they got a wake up call. That's for sure.
So, well, there's a comment here, and Jeff, this is something we are going to do. Okay, Fat Cat 747. Love to see you do a live stream from Port Miriam. Now then, Port Miriam is
I've
a
always
place.
wanted to go there.
He's always, and at some point, ladies and gentlemen, if you could all contribute to the Jeff and Richard go to Port Miriam to do a live stream. It has been a personal thing of Jeff's since I've known him to go to Port Miriam.
Dear.
So, Jeff, at some point, if we can get the money together, we're going to have to find a place to stay there. We'll book ourselves in, and we'll do a weekend of live streams.
Where can I buy a big white balloon? Where can I buy one of those?
I'm sure they'll have those for sale.
One.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have those
I'll
for
chase
sale.
Richard down the beach with it.
Yeah. No, that's something.
Dear.
I mean, Jeff's a big
sorry.
fan of the Prisoner series, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we're making an assumption here that everybody knows what we're all burbling on about, which is, of course, the place where The Prisoner was filmed.
1960s
all those
series.
years
Brilliant.
ago. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Patrick
Absolutely.
McGowan, whatever it was. Yeah. So, yes, we will be doing a live stream from Port Miriam. That will happen one day. In fact, next week, I will be... Not this week now. Next week, probably, Jeff and I will be getting together to do some live streams out and about in various different places, and Bath might be one of them. And that might be happening. We might be out and about doing some live streams here, there, and everywhere. Just plonking a. I mean, I want to do Avebury as well, Jeff. Avebury, yeah.
Avebury. We've done that before.
Not a live stream.
Yeah.
Not a live stream.
Oh, not a live stream. No.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, Bath was where we held our first public event, wasn't it? In a pub.
Yes, in the Star Inn in Bath. Oh, Bath, yeah.
That's a lovely
Brilliant
place.
place.
We went there again
yeah,
a couple of
yeah.
years ago as well.
Was
Yeah,
it
so we
last
need to
year,
do
actually?
that.
Was it last year?
Was
We
it
went there
last year? Might have been
think.
last year, yeah. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing that.
No, that's never happening. We're not going to have a bath together. No, that's never going to
dear
happen.
me.
That's in the
I think
universe.
we're going to have to ban him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The universe where that happens doesn't exist. It does not exist. I don't. If there's a multiverse out there of infinite universes, that's one universe that they skipped.
Thank goodness for that. Yes. Oh, look, someone says the sadistic atheist says, I'm waiting to win the lottery and build my own luxury nuclear bunker / mausoleum. It would be a mausoleum. You'd die alone there or with whoever's in there. And it would be, it's, no, I don't think there's much point in doing that. It'd have to be a massive bunker for anyone to stay alive for any length of time. Yes.
Jeff, you always used to say to me, the best place if there's a nuclear attack is to be right near the blast. You wouldn't even know it had happened.
Ground zero, yeah. Where it actually hits the ground, it will just, it explodes well above you, but you'll be incinerated instantly. At least you won't get any nasty radiation poisoning. Now, James Warrington has got a good one here. This is back on topic. On day one, first job, remove and replace the civil service with top industrialist lawyers, etc., under new terms. Then start the flights and reforms without a civil servant thinking he was prime minister. Yes, replacing all of these people, you'd have to do it properly, of course, under the law. The first thing you would probably need to do is change the law so you can sack civil servants without any pensions and any redundancy payments.
Yeah, said industrialists and lawyers, though, they would need to be vetted and vetted well.
Yes.
Because there's industrialists and then there's industrialists and there's lawyers and then there's lawyers. We all know this.
There's lawyers. Yes, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. No, but good point though. That's the sort of massive action that's going to be required. It's not It's not the country that's holding the country back. It's the people that are holding us back. The people at the top who've got into cosy little jobs where they can decide on DEI and they get paid £150,000 a year to hold things up. It's easier to hold things up than it is to drive on with them. That's half the problem.
One here from Aztec Styles. King's Lynn was the old capital of England. I didn't know that, actually. I've been to King's Lynn. It was a very pretty place when I went there a long time ago. About, good grief, was that 30 years ago? Something along those lines. Yes.
Yeah.
Back many moons
The
ago.
ex-postman says, Jeff, thoughts on young Bob being thrown out of speakers. We did actually cover that earlier in the live
Yes.
stream, if you want to go back.
If you want to go back and look over that
actually showed
later,
that.
yes,
Yeah,
you can watch that.
We did mention that bit, actually. Yeah, so, but to say we were annoyed, yes.
And incidentally, talking about Norfolk
Sorry.
and that sort of... Go on.
Sax 2, Jeff's not a number, he's a free man.
I'm not so sure about that. Yeah. So going back over to the West Country, not West Country, sorry. Oh, good grief, Norfolk. You know the west, the east of the country. You know all those areas in King's Lynn and all that. And then you come across a bit, and you got Bury St Edmunds, and apparently, my genes herald from Bury St Edmunds. So if you're a Wilson, if you've got a surname of Wilson, and you're in Bury St Edmunds, I could be related to you. Aren't you lucky?
No. Yes.
Right then, Jeff.
Yes.
I
right
think
then.
we've witted on talking nonsense for long enough.
How long have we been talking for? 2 hours.
Nearly 2 hours. Yes. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Well, the thing
Yeah, I
is,
think you're right.
ladies and gentlemen, we enjoy these chats, and we know
Yeah.
that a lot of you do as well. So, as we said previously, please do like, subscribe, and do actually subscribe. Press the bloody button, will you? And yes, get it done. Come on, because most of you aren't who are watching this, and you know we're wonderful, me and Jeff, and Jeff and I and Jeff, and just do it. And if you really like what we do, then please become members, and all the people who support us. There's a link in the descriptions box below as well for our Patreon supporters and PayPal supporters. Thank you, massive thank you, because it helps us keep this channel going. And all you lovely people with your super chats and your comments, we love you. We love you all, and we really do. And God bless you all. And over to you, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, I just want to point this comment out that I found from Rosemary Griffin. We are two disabled adults, mum and son. We are trying to get out of Birmingham. Please pray for us. We are sitting ducks here and have no help. Thank you, guys. Well, I feel for you.
Hang on, let's pray. Let's pray. Let's just pray.
Yeah.
Jeff, let's pray. Heavenly Father, we hope that you help this mother and son out, and that you bring them out of Birmingham, where they're trying to get out of, and that you bring them to somewhere of safety and a better place. And we ask this in the name of your Son, our Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ. Amen. I don't do that often.
No, but the fact that people feel so threatened like this just tells you where this country's going, and our politicians for the last 30 years plus are to blame. Not the ordinary people. They were never asked. They were told this was going to happen to them, and they were ordered to accept it. We are now saying enough. And on that note, I'll say it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him. Goodbye.
Goodbye.